Welcome to the Pharmacy Residency Podcast, a member of the Pharmacy Podcast Network. If you have not already, please do get on our email list. I will send out the podcast episodes each time, and we're trying to do about one a week as best I can. Obviously, it's always a little bit more crazy as we get towards November and December. What I wanted to talk about today was some free books that I have and some links to them. If you are an Audible member, you know they're having their big member sale right now, so many of the books that I've written are on sale. But I also do have a number of free codes, and I wanted to go through 7 books I've written about pharmacy residency and how it can help you, and just kind of go through those. And then again, everything that you need is at pharmacyresidencypodcast.com. So whether you want to contact me, whether you want the one-on-one help with the CV, the letter of intent, or you want help with the interviews, then if you're doing a book club, then I've got just kind of a link to the Amazon series, the 7 books. You can use any of them as you're kind of going week by week. APPEs, I've got a couple of tips, and then if you want to do an academic rotation, you can do those with me. It can be virtual. It doesn't have to be here in central Iowa. Templates, I've got a number of videos about templates that you can use for many of those things, letters of intent and so forth, that you need. All right, well, let's go to the books and talk a little bit about each of them. When we kind of move through the course, or not the course, but the website, always start with kind of the courses, and really you really want to think of it as, okay, I'm spending $150,000, $200,000, $300,000, and now I'm worried about spending $100 on getting help one-on-one with letter of intent, or getting a little bit of additional help with the interview. Again, I go through in the interview course the point system, and I think that that's something many don't understand, that you're really trying to amass a certain number of points so that not only do you get the interview, but you also are successful in the interview. Okay. All right, well, let's go on to book 1. So the foundational book, I think, is the letter of intent. And you might think, well, I just need help with the interviews or something else. And the reason I say this is that when you are aiming for something, you want to know exactly what you're aiming at. And writing a letter of intent to a residency site, whether you're sure about what you want or not, that's really helpful. But let me tell you a little bit about it, especially if you're just listening to the audio. So on the site, there may be no promo codes up here, US promo codes, but there might be UK promo codes. So a UK promo code just means that you have to go to audible.co.uk/ACX-promo to redeem it. And just like someone that's in the United Kingdom doesn't actually have to physically live in the United Kingdom, just as someone in the United States doesn't have to physically live in the United States to be on Audible in that country, or Amazon in that country. It's the same thing here too. So again, if the US codes are out because it was just too popular, then the UK codes work just as well. And then if you want to just get a US one, you can always click on the image, so image of the title there, and what it'll do is take you here. And as I mentioned, Audible is having their big sale, about 50% off most of the books, and I think there's a couple of hours left in that sale. Okay, book 2. So I think there's a misunderstanding of what you need to do once you get the interview. So I have in case of interview break glass type thing, but really just giving you residency interview help, understanding what the residency interview is about, and the different components to it. And then there are a number of US codes for this one. I'll just scroll down, and then a bunch of UK codes as well. Again, try to get on our email list. But that's all meant to help you. Book 3, This is the most popular by far, 100 strong residency interview questions, answers, and rationales. I wrote this with Brandon Dyson of TLDR Pharmacy. No US codes for that one, but we do have a couple of UK codes left, not too many. Again, the most popular book that we've had because it has made so many students successful. As soon as I wrote that, I also realized there was a book that was missing. So book 4 is phone interview survival tips, and it could be Zoom interview survival tips as well. It's really similar. So there's a US code left and then a number of UK codes that you can get. But the phone interview survival is really understanding the difference between that face-to-face and the screening interview. So those of you that are applying to academic medical centers, this is usually where you see this. They have so many applicants that they do want to at least get a little bit more than just the paper, and they'll do a screening interview. And that interview might be 2-3 minutes, might be 20 minutes. The key is to understand the differences between those two. Next one is crushing the Phase 2 pharmacy residency match. No one wants to think about Phase 2, but some of the Iowa colleges were actually some of the most successful in the nation at it. And something that's kind of I go into is when you talk about who actually gets these Phase 2 matches, I want to say it was something like 24 schools of pharmacy or 30 schools of pharmacy accounted for 1/2 of the positions that were available. And then 110 schools of pharmacy had to deal with what's left. And when you kind of just wrap your head around that, residency is so skewed towards a small number of schools. And 2 of them happen to be in Iowa. So just a really great thing for us. Finding your unicorn job for pharmacists. So when you think about it, yes, okay, so I want to be a resident. I want to do all of these things. But then what else do you want to do? Or maybe what you're doing isn't working out for you. That clinical job you thought would be amazing, you're kind of burning out of it. Or maybe the retail job, you're burning out of it, whatever it is. But a unicorn job, many people have done really cool things with a pharmacy degree, as I have. And I love my position, teaching in a community college. And it really gives me the kind of flexibility that you would love to have if you happen to have 3 9-year-old children. And then the 7th one, the most recent one I read, written, this one is called Read This Before Pharmacy Residency. It's really meant for students that are not yet in their last professional year. It's more about getting the grades and getting the time management done to do all those extracurricular activities. A ton of US promo codes for this one because we just wrote it. And I wrote this one with a physician and an MBA. So tremendous perspectives on learning and education. And what you're really supposed to get out of this is just those kind of tips that are going to help you succeed. So again, anytime you click on one of those book codes, they should be free. If it doesn't work, somebody already redeemed it, go ahead and go to the next one. If you have to, you can always kind of click on this. You can see if it's on sale. This one just happens to not be on sale. But when you click on this and kind of move towards the Audible site, if you've never been on Audible before, they usually offer you a free book as part of the membership, kind of a try it out for 4 weeks. So at least you can listen to the book whether or not you decide to stay a member. So again, if you want to get in touch with me, TonyThePharmacist@gmail.com and PharmacyResidencyPodcast.com to find all of these free books. I do ask that if you have the opportunity, after you've read the first chapter or two, to write a review. And if you're busy, just put number of stars. You don't have to actually write the review. You can just rate it. But either way, it allows us to really reach more people that really need our help. So again, PharmacyResidencyPodcast.com, 7 books with free codes there. And again, I have no idea how long they're going to last. So grab them while you can.